Okay, so the way this is gonna work is we only have one shot, one take at this because Amanda and I only have enough brown sugar for one pie. So we can only make one crust, one pie, you know, so this is how it's gonna work. So this is how you first make a pie crust. We have 2 cups of flour in here, a whole stick of butter that's been cut into several tablespoons, so we're gonna stick that right in here. And now we're gonna use our fingers to make it like coarse sand. That's kind of the texture that you want when you are making pie crust. See how this is working here? Yes. We're using our fingers, it's lots of fun. You could use a pastry cutter, but as a college student, I don't have everything that I possibly could use in a kitchen. So we're just gonna do this by hand. You could also use a blender if you have a fancy blend tech like I do. Or you could use a pastry food processor, which is no different than a regular food processor. I just put pastry in the front. One thing about pie crust that you have to know is that it's not nearly as scary as everybody thinks it is. People always talk about how pie crust is so difficult to make and to get right, but all you need to know is make it into that coarse sand and really like pat it down when you're combining it and refrigerate it for at least 2 hours before you use it. You could also do several variations, like the first pie crust I ever used was made out of amaretto cookies instead of flour. So I ground them down and then combined them with the butter and the eggs to make my pie crust, and it was amazing. Although it didn't cook very well. I saved it at the end. So now this is about the texture that you want here. See how it's nice and coarse. And now we're gonna put our eggs in. We're gonna use 3 eggs, and if I get egg on my tablecloth, it's okay because it is microfiber and it won't get junk all over it. And once you got enough of the egg mixed in, you could switch to using your hands again because I like to get hands-on in the kitchen. So, here's our plastic wrap. And we're gonna just turn it right out onto here. And wrap it up. Nice and tight. And kind of form it into a ball, so that way when you roll it out, it could be that perfect pie shape that you want. And I'm gonna stick that in the fridge, and with the help of a little prep magic, we have a pie crust already sitting in the oven. So, here it is. Now to get this ready, all we did was we lined the sides of the pie tin with foil and then weighted it down with beans. Beans are a lot cheaper than buying a pie weight. And we're back. So now we have 3 eggs sitting here in our mixing bowl. We have a 1.25 cups of brown sugar, my favorite ingredient. And then we have a 1.5 cups of crushed macadamias that have already been salted so that we don't have to add salt to the recipe. And a cup of shredded coconut that's already been sweetened. And then we have our own homemade vanilla extract. Now vanilla extract is really easy to make. All you have to do is take a bottle of vodka or bourbon, and then you add 3 sliced vanilla beans to it, and then let it steep for 3 months and just shake it up every once in a while. And you can continue to reuse it for 2 years as long as you keep refilling it with vodka or bourbon. And then of course our last ingredient is a whole stick of butter, which is actually, no, it's a half stick. It's very delicious. So what we're gonna do for our first step is to combine our sugar with our eggs, our butter, and our vanilla extract. And it's only about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we're just gonna whisk that all together. Now I'm proud to say that this is my very own recipe. My first pie, however, was not so successful. This is like one of my favorite pies. My first pie was a chocolate mousse pie, and it turned out horrendously. The mousse did not set, and so instead I had like this chocolate soup but I still was convinced that I could serve it. And so I brought it to my dad's side of the family and I tried to dress it up with strawberries and like raspberries and stuff like that. But it was literally so thin and there was like, it didn't harden at all. So when I put the berries in it, they just sank to the bottom. It was absolutely sad. But everybody put on a happy face and pretended it was good, which is the best part about families. So here we go, we're just adding in the coconut and the macadamias now into our brown sugar butter mixture, and see how it's getting nice and thick, which will be perfect for our pie. And we're gonna take it right over here to our finished pie crust, which has been cooked in the oven with the pie weights and the foil for 15 minutes at 375. And then it cooked without the foil and pie weights for another 20 minutes. So we're just gonna pour it right in here. I don't know if it's all gonna fit into the pan, but we'll have to see. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's gonna fit, but that's all right. Nobody will ever know that we ate the rest. Well, you guys will know, but Amanda and I will have a feast after this. And I'm just flattening it down so that way it doesn't bubble over too much. We're going to cook this for 30 minutes, or until it's like nice and set. That's what you are looking for. And there you go. So I guess to find out how it tastes and how it turned out, you'll have to come to our Culinary Society event tomorrow. It's our Thanksgiving pies event. We have 5 different types, this being one of them. So I hope to see you tomorrow, and have a good night.